Hello guys, now we are going to go over control. You will need to tell your program to use these certain controls in order for your program to function properly. So we need to tell it how to start the program. Simple. We press this little green button right here. Next, we need to tell it, maybe we need to tell this guy to constantly, forever, never-ending loop, to constantly turn 15 degrees. It's just going to sit there and turn 15 degrees forever, so it's actually doesn't matter how you have this set. It could be 1. All that's gonna do at this point is determine how much speed you're gonna be giving it, because if you remove this and just tell it turn 1 degree every time when you click it, it's not gonna do it forever. It's just going to turn 1 degree. So you want it to be constantly turning. Maybe you want it to spin extremely fast, like 200 degrees. 200. That looks to me as if this cat has 2 heads. So you could do loops are a very important key. Maybe you're looping it to be if I'll just do touching, draw, see, just do this, create a whatever. That's not gonna be very good. Let's just create something different. Let's create a circle. So now we have a circle that we can move around. And although we want this sprite to be touching that color, we will go over that in more detail later on. So now if we run this program, it's not going to do anything. But let's create a different part to this program. And let's tell it to constantly, forever, change the x value of the x and y coordinate by 10. Alright, this part you will not need to know until a later video on programming. This is just going to help us with the program. I will explain it in more detail later. But what this is going to be doing is when we start it, we will be telling it to hide. Basically, when it touches this object, it'll disappear. So that's hide, and when to show means when we click it, it will simply just appear. It'll reappear. So, but once it hides and we tell it to show, it's still going to be in that same spot. So we're going to have to set the x and y value. So let's set y to where it is now, negative 144, and let's set the y value to 3. So let's run this. It went away. It disappeared just like we told it to. So we also may want this to wait, because as you saw, when I ran the program for it to show back up again, it immediately started running, because that's what it knows to do. So let's tell it to wait. I put this in the wrong spot. Let's tell it to wait, say 3 seconds before it starts this part of the program. So let's try this again. Now it's not working, because I actually think I should have put it in there to begin with as well. No, there's something else wrong with it. Now it's gonna work. That's alright. So waiting 3 seconds does not work there. But that's fine, because it still is gonna work. So there are also if-thens, which you can use some of these sensing blocks to put within the if-then, or operators, if you want it to do two things. If this happens, if the space key is pressed, it's not going to follow, maybe it's not going to point at a 90-degree angle, or 90 degrees from where it's pointing now. But if we do space key and say the left arrow key is pressed, then it will point in that direction. But we also need to tell it to start. But when we run this, it's not going to do anything. It's not going to do anything, because it's just going to simply run it at first, but there's nothing telling it to do anything. So how about we loop it with this forever loop that we just learned about? So now it's going to stay on, and if I press the space key, it's not going to do anything. If I press the left arrow key, it's not going to do anything. If I press both, then it points in that direction. So that's just a little bit on controls. There are more things that you can do, such as stop the program. So if I do this, and then run it, I can press both, and it will stop the program. So there are more things, more complicated, such as cloning. That's going to be a little more complicated in this, but these are basically what you use for functionality. And that's all for this video. Hope to see you in the next one.